Or there's guys out there who want a step-by-step plan when it comes to learning how to code. They want this magical step-by-step plan that'll take them from zero, with the final step being a guaranteed coding job. And they'll search all over the internet for this magical plan. And when they never find it, they'll get discouraged. They may keep up with coding for a little bit, but ultimately they won't get anywhere. Whereas there's other guys out there who try the tried and tested methods for getting a coding job. They work hard at it and get a coding job in no time. I'm going to talk about the difference here specifically. I'm going to give advice as if I'm talking to my older self. I've been in the industry for 2+ years now, right? And when I started trying to get into this coding stuff, I didn't have any idea what I was doing. I made a boatload of mistakes. So I really hope this video can help you out in getting from zero, getting a coding job ASAP. Without further ado, let's dive into it. I remember clearly, I was sitting in my room. I have my laptop, and I'm doing Dr. Angela's Udemy course on web development, right? So I buy that course. It was like $10, $20. And as soon as I buy that course, I bought like a bunch of Udemy courses, by the way. As soon as I buy that course, I'm Googling, will this course be enough to get me a job? And every single time I buy a course, I go, will this course get me a job? Is this enough to get me a job? Is Free Code Camp enough to get me a job? And I was just always searching for that magical resource that'll get me from point zero to a guaranteed coding job, right? And this leads me to the first point. There is no magical step-by-step path. There is a lot of ambiguity here. Your success is not going to be like step 0, do this, step 1, do this, step 2, do this, and like step 10, get a job. It's not going to be linear. You're going to start, you're going to have no idea what the heck you're doing. You're going to make mistakes. It's going to be messy. You're going to go up, you're going to go out, you're going to go sideways. And then finally, you're going to end up getting to the point where you have your coding job. Now, part of the issue here is the expectation that some of these courses or boot camps set. Where to say, oh, do our course and get a job guaranteed in 3 months, get a job guaranteed in 6 months, or your money back. Take that thought, throw out the window. We don't listen to those people. They're putting a train of thought on us that's going to serve us horrifically, because how long it takes you to get that coding job will differ so greatly depending on things like macroeconomic factors, which location you're in, right? Are there a lot of coding jobs where you're at, maybe less so, right? Things like this, a lot of things that are outside of your control. So I'm all for working hard, I'm all for putting in 100% effort, but recognize you could put in 120% effort. But there are just some factors here that are outside of your control, right? And with these courses specifically that I'm talking about, is like guaranteed job in 3 months. I know one course specifically where I got suspicious, so I looked at their refund policies, because their policy was, if you don't get a job, we'll give you a full refund, right, or something like that. I looked at their refund policy. Guess what it said? It said, after you do our course, if you get any job paying you $30K a year or more, we are not on the hook to give you a refund anymore. I think that is a scum of the earth tactic. Keep in mind, any job, what that means is, if you do that course, you blow your money on that course, your hard-earned money on that course, and it doesn't get you a coding job, and obviously you have to pay the bill, so you pick up some minimum wage job, whatever it may be. Again, it doesn't have to be a coding job. As long as that job pays $30K a year or more, they're no longer on the hook to give you a refund. Scum of the earth tactic. All right, next thing I remember is, again, I was taking Dr. Angela's course, right? And I made a bunch of super basic front-end courses on my laptop, trying to figure out this UI stuff. Made a bunch of super basic front-end projects, right? And I'm throwing my application out to like any company that's hiring in the area. And guess what? I end up getting a call back. I go to the interview, and guess what? I got the offer. Like, I ended up declining that offer, and that was because I wanted to focus on my studies full time. I was doing an online CS degree. So I got that job offer at the 8-month mark. 0 months being like I knew nothing about computer science or anything like this. I just knew I wanted a job in coding. So 0 is like I just signed up for my CS degree. And within 8 months, and keep in mind, for most of those 8 months, I was doing like the dumbest things. Again, I had no idea what I was doing, making mistakes left, right, and center. But still at the 8-month mark, I got the job offer. And the reason I believe I got that job offer is because I stuck with the tried and tested methods, right? Dr. Angela's course, it'll teach you web development on the front end side. It'll make you build projects. That alone is the advice that a lot of people recommend for trying to get your foot in the door, including me, right? So the long and short of the advice is focus on what's in demand, which is web development. Specifically front end, it's easier to get your foot in the door with front end, right? Build projects, build projects, build projects, right? That hands-on learning is so important. Build projects, and then start applying. right? Lead code you can do, it's obviously very useful. But in my experience, I was able to get callbacks from smaller companies even without doing lead code and get job offers and such. That's why I put less emphasis on lead code, at least for just getting your first job, right? And to be honest, throughout my career, I've been pretty bad at lead code and I've done just fine money wise and otherwise, right? So that's why I say lead code. Obviously, I'm not denying lead code is very powerful, and if you're good at it, that is gonna help you a lot. But to get your first job, you don't need lead code, but you do need to focus on those basics, at least in my opinion, right? So I'll leave some resources in the description that'll take you to those basics. Free Code Camp, the Odin project. I like the Odin project a lot. I haven't done all of it. I only did about 50% of the foundations aspect of it. And now that I've been in the industry, I can tell you that the Odin project, the thing is teaching you are very, very valuable. It is one of the more difficult resources. But if you stick with it, again, stick with it, try and test it, stick with it, build projects, I'm confident you'll be able to land a coding role. All right. Now, next thing I remember is, again, I'm sitting at my desk, got my laptop open, and I get an offer. Right? Like, whoa, you know what I mean? So I open my Gmail, look at it, and this is the first coding job that I ended up accepting, right? And it was for an internship, which paid a little above minimum wage. But I took that internship. I worked my tail off at it. And I was able to leverage that experience that I gained from that internship into a six-figure role. Right after I did the internship, the next job offer I got was a six-figure role. Right? What's the point I'm trying to make here? The point I'm making is don't be discouraged by the first job. Right? The first job, whatever it is, take it. Don't expect like, Facebook is gonna hire you on the first job or something like this, right? This is the expectation that's sometimes set in the social media world. Oh, I came out of the womb with 5 job offers, one from Facebook, one from Google, one from Apple. Like, no, take that thought, throw out the window. We don't listen to those people. Again, these people are putting a train of thought on us that's going to serve us horrifically, right? If our expectations, our first job has to pay 6 figures and has to be from Facebook, like, those are very difficult expectations to meet. But you can take that first job, wherever it is, smaller company, whatever, work hard there, learn a lot, and then leverage that experience into the role that you want, right? So point there being, don't be discouraged by the first job, even if it's not the company that you want or quite the location that you want, take that opportunity. And you'll be able to leverage that for much better opportunities in the future. I just want to end this video off by saying, hey, be kind to yourself throughout this process. This is not an easy journey whatsoever, right? Again, I stumbled, I fell, I made so many mistakes throughout this journey that it's borderline not even funny, right? And I got into this coding stuff because at that time I was working a customer service job where I had to commute 1 hour 30 minutes to get yelled at on the phone by customers. I had to commute 1 hour 30 minutes back just to get paid a little above minimum wage, right? And I was like, I'm not doing this anymore, right? Like, no way. So, and then I looked towards coding and, looked towards getting a coding job there, right? And at that point, I really had like no money to do anything, right? Like starts following my passions or even like going out on dates or going out with friends. I didn't have any money to do that, right? And I got into coding because I didn't want to be in a career like all the other careers that were around me, the options that were around me. They were all careers where you had to work for like 10 years and then you'd make 6 figures. And coding was one of the few options where you can be young, get your foot in the door, and within a year, heck, maybe even under a year, right? Like my first job I got out of college, actually I was still in college when I accepted that job, was for 6 figures, right? So coding is one of those few professions where you can, hit the ground running and right out of the gates, get paid a good wage. Right? And that was very important to me. Again, I didn't want to wait 10 years before I made good money, right? But before that point, it was a lot of hard work, right? I remember starting, again, not knowing what the heck I was doing. December 2019 was when I started, and August 2021 was when I got my 6-figure job. And between that time, I was making like no money. Oh, got an internship, making a little above minimum wage, a little above, and then 6-figure job, right? But keep in mind, that was close to 2 years where I saw no tangible results for all the effort I was putting in, right? So again, be kind to yourself throughout this process. Keep on showing it day in, day out, because guess what? A lot of people are going to start this journey. Not a lot of them are going to stick with it to the end, but we will stick to the end and we'll reap the rewards, right? Now, I just want you to imagine for a second. Imagine you take this advice, you run with it. And your money is growing day by day by day because now you have this skill that's highly in demand that's going to keep you paid. I want you to imagine that now you have enough money to, go out on dates, go out with friends, to follow your passions, right? Like I like boxing, wanted to do it for the longest time, couldn't afford it. Now I can afford it, right? I got a new car. I was driving like a 2007 Toyota Corolla for the longest time. That the borderline would shake when it went over 80 kilometers an hour, and I was able to get a new car, right? Now you have enough money to support your family as well, which is what's most important, right? Imagine that. I want you to imagine that now you're in a position where you have a good work-life balance, right? Maybe you're in a position similar to me right now where you're working some job you dread going into, right? And that's no longer the case, right? You wake up, you don't dread going into work anymore. You have a good work-life balance. You're working remote. You're working with nice people, right? And again, you don't dread going into work every single day, and you're getting paid what you deserve, right? Imagine that. And that's the path you're on. Hey, keep working hard. Again, I believe in you. But what I believe doesn't matter. What you believe matters. So I hope you believe in yourself too. That's all I got for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Ultimately, I want this to be our positive little community where we help each other, support each other, and help each other get to the next level in life. So please come join the community. I'll leave my Instagram, TikTok in the description, also somewhere over here. Please do support there as well. Please do like, comment, subscribe. I'll talk to you later. Peace.